task. It is actually a daunting task if it is undertaken only by one actor. It would be a daunting task for any government in the world. But actually that's what the SDGs are all about, is that it's not only for the government to do it, it's for the private sector, it's for civil society, it's for all the actors in a society to work on that. And actually the SDGs offer really a framework for everybody to work on. Nepal has been quite active on the front of the SDGs. As you know, it was the first country to present a position paper. It actually also has constituted a high-level committee that is chaired by the Prime Minister in order to follow up on the SDGs. The budget of Nepal is actually structured along the line of the SDGs. And Nepal was one of the countries who voluntarily presented a report on the achievement to date in the high-level political forum at the ECOSOC meeting in New York last year. So what are the opportunities really for Nepal when we talk about the SDGs? I would say the new constitution and federalization are two elements of opportunities for Nepal in terms of achieving the SDGs. Mostly because it means that with the devolution of power that federalization envisages, with provincial, local government as well as federal government, it gives an opportunity to tackle the SDGs at all levels. And having actually local government also means that you can look at the SDGs within a very specific context and make sure that you adjust the SDGs in that given context. So that's a fantastic opportunity that Nepal has today, 761 local government and 7 provinces that will actually be in charge of making sure that not only there is growth, but that there is prosperity for all and protection for all. And as I was saying, the doers for the SDGs are not only the government, it is also the private sector. Let us think of Nepal today. You still have 36% of the Nepali households who don't have enough to eat. That 36%, it's the third of the nation. A third of Nepali today don't eat what they need to eat, and they go to bed feeling hungry. And actually, as per the SDGs target, this number should go down to 0. We should not have anymore anybody in 2030 going to bed hungry in Nepal. So how can we achieve that? Then we have to have new business models for the private sector. We have to think differently the way. We have to be innovative. We have to look at these new technologies. And actually, that's why I was saying earlier on, we need education. We need to invest in education, because it's not with an uneducated population that you can use the new technology to embrace the new challenges. So education is really central. And the SDGs actually can be translated in so many ways for businesses to address all the issues that we've mentioned: nutrition, poverty, climate change, clean energy, water, environmental conservation. But what is important for businesses? Do not approach this as an element of corporate social responsibility. That is to say, with the mind that we do something almost as a charity. This cannot be addressed through charity. It has to be addressed really with a new mind, with a new way of making business. Actually, it's to think social business, as the concept has been developed actually already. And what is social business at the end of the day? Is that we don't work to make money, but we make money to make sure that we do the work. And what is this work? It's a vision. Businesses have to have vision that go beyond the enrichment of one person. This is a vision that should contribute to the development of the country. So businesses can contribute to Nepal in a way that they can bring to Nepal a way to succeed and to achieve the SDGs, more than thinking, how can Nepal be profited on? And the innovation that I mentioned, actually, I want to stress another element, can only be really harnessed if businesses as well as government invest on youth. Youth have the key to innovation. I'm sorry to say, but when we reach a certain age, our innovation capacity is much less. Innovation is in the brain of the youth. Hence, we need to educate them and invest on them. But actually, innovation also means a change of behavior, thinking differently. So it means that looking at the SDGs with all the components that I mentioned, the planet, the people, and the prosperity in an environment of peace, suddenly is a different way of making business, because you think your business in how can I make sure that my business contributes to a better environment? How can I make sure that my business contributes to the prosperity for all? So that's why the SDGs actually are the best way to unleash innovation. Because if you start thinking as business people beyond the tunnel vision of your product and the profit you can make, and if you think of it in a way how my business can contribute to Nepal, suddenly it unleashes all type of imagination and ideas. And we need imagination and new ideas to make sure that Nepal achieves the SDGs and achieves its dream to becoming a middle-income country by 2030. So I'm sure that there are many, many ways and many more things that we could discuss in terms of opportunities, but I really believe that the SDGs are a great opportunity for Nepal, for the private sector, for civil society, but that we should all work on that. And there are so many ways to contribute to all these ideas. If you look at it only to contribute to oneself, then there are few options. But if we think about everything we do in a way to contribute to everybody, then there are millions of ideas that can be harvested. So with this, I wish you a very good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and we'd like to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Valerie. Very thank you again. And as a part from the Management Association of Nepal, we'd like to present a token of love and certificate of appreciation. I'd like to request ER Sushil Bhatta, our president from Management Association of Nepal, to please hand over the token of love as well as a certificate of appreciation to Ms. Valerie. Thank you so much. धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। अनि हामी यो सर्टिफिकेट अफ एप्रिसिएसन पनि उहाँलाई यो प्रेजेन्ट गर्दै कार्यक्रम पनि अगाडि बढाउन चाहन्छौँ। यसै गरी सबैजना हाम्रो डिस्टिङ्ग्विस्ड गेस्टहरू हुनुहुन्छ अनि सबैजनाको आफ्नो भ्यालुएबल टाइम पनि अब पनि कार्यक्रमलाई अगाडि बढाउँदै आफ्नो ओपिनियन दिनको लागि अन द म्यानेजमेन्ट अफ सोसियो इकोनोमिक डेभलपमेन्ट इन द फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर, च्यालेन्जेस, अपर्च्युनिटिज एन्ड वे फरवर्डको यो 3 पेपर प्रेजेन्टेसनमा आफ्नो कुरा राख्दै हुनको लागि म पनि बोलाउन चाहन्छु अन द डायस सेक्रेटरी for Minister of Cooperative and Poverty Alleviation, GOPINATH MAINALI. A huge round of applause to him, please.
कार्यक्रम का स्वागत गर्नुभएका म्यानका अध्यक्षज्यू, यस कार्यक्रमका प्रमुख अतिथि पूर्व प्रधानमन्त्रीज्यू, देशमा आसीन सम्पूर्ण विशिष्ट आदरणीय महानुभावहरू, सबैको बाबत दिने म थोरै कुराहरू मात्र राखेर यहाँहरूसँग विदा हुने अनुमति चाहन्छु, किनभने मैले 12 बजे आफैले एउटा चेयर गर्ने अर्को कार्यक्रममा चाहिँ मेरो कमिटमेन्ट छ। त्यो भावनाले मैले यति कुराहरू यहाँलाई भने हामीले सङ्घीय नेपालको आर्थिक सामाजिक व्यवस्थापनमा दुईटा कुराहरू भनेका छौँ हामीले, आर्थिक र सामाजिक। त्यसको लागि व्यवस्थापनको कुराहरू, विकासको उद्देश्य भनेको मानव आवश्यकता पूर्ति हो भनेदेखि त्यसको सामाजिक र आर्थिक व्यवस्थापनको पाटोमा विधि प्रक्रियाको पाटो के हुन्छ भन्ने कुराहरूमा खोजिएको होला जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई अहिलेको चाहिँ एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनले। त्यस सन्दर्भमा मैले व्यवस्थापनका थोरै कुराहरू रिमेटरमा राखेर यहाँहरूसँग हिँड्नेछु। यो अहिलेको हाम्रो संविधानले चाहिँ एउटा सामाजिक दिनमा उतारेको छ र जनताको भावनालाई मुखरित गरेको छ र यसका 3टा विशेषताहरू हामी सबैलाई थाहा छ। एउटा संहिता, शासकीय टायरहरूमा चाहिँ अधिकारको विरोध गर्ने कुरा, दोस्रो समावेशीकरण, सम्पूर्ण प्रक्रियामा सामाजिक बिम्ब उतार्ने काम, अर्को पुनर्समता भनेको आर्थिक, सामाजिक, प्रशासनिक सबै प्रकारका निर्णय प्रक्रियालाई घर दैलोमा पुर्याउने भन्ने बुझिएको हो। यस सन्दर्भमा हामीले धेरै कामहरू गरिसकेका छौँ, तर गर्ने क्रममा हामीले के देख्यौँ त भन्दाखेरि मेजर चुनौतीको कुराहरू, अहिले तत्काल चुनौतीको कुराहरूबाट के देखिएको छ भन्दाखेरि आर्थिक संरचनाहरूको निर्माणको काम बाँकी छ। निर्वाचित पदाधिकारीहरूले आफ्नो काम सुरु गरिसक्नुभयो, त्यहाँ प्रणाली पनि छैन, प्रणाली निर्माण भइसकेको छैन। हामीले बौद्धिक रूपमा या प्राज्ञिक रूपमा केही कुराहरू बताएर पनि हुँदैन। उहाँहरूलाई प्रणाली चाहिन्छ, उहाँहरूको आशा, अपेक्षा, उमङ्ग असाध्यै बढी छ। तर त्यसको लागि आर्थिक सङ्गठनहरूको निर्माण, उद्यमशीलताको निर्माण, सबै जनताले एकमुष्ट समाधान खोजेको छ सबै प्रकारको समस्याले तर त्यो नहोला कि भन्ने एउटा अलिकति चाहिँ समस्या छ र त्यो अरू केही कुराहरू हामीले राम्रा कुराहरू प्राप्त गरेका छौँ जस्तो सामाजिक क्षेत्रमा उल्लेखनीय उपलब्धि छ पूर्वाधार क्षेत्रमा विस्तारको प्रक्रिया पुरा भएको छ गुणस्तर मात्र लिएर आउन बाँकी छ तर आर्थिक समाधानहरू गर्न सकेका छैनौँ त्यो नगर्यो भनेदेखि हामीले अहिलेको उत्साहलाई पुनः निराशामा प्राप्त गर्न पर्ने अवस्था हुनेछ यस कुराको लागि हामीसँग थुप्रै अपर्च्युनिटीहरू पनि छ मैले च्यालेन्जको कुराहरू सरहरूले अघि नै भन्नुभयो हामीले पनि अपर्च्युनिटीको कुराहरू गरेँ अपर्च्युनिटीको पहिलो कुरा भनेको चाहिँ अब ट्रान्जिसन सक्यो भन्छु मैले किन सक्यो त भन्दा चाहिँ अब सधैँभरि हामी ट्रान्जिसन भनेर बस्दैनौँ निर्वाचित सम्पूर्ण चाहिँ पदाधिकारीहरूको क्रियाशीलता विस्तार भइसकेपछि संवैधानिक रूपमा सकिसक्यो यो एउटा हामीलाई असाध्यै ठुलो अपडेट छ भनेदेखि चाहिँ अर्को भनेको पिपुल आर मोर डिमान्डिङ विकास निर्माण रोजगारीको लागि असाध्यै आतुर छन् त्यो हामीसँग अर्को राम्रो कुरा छ अहिले चाहिँ हाम्रो 1,59,10,000 मान्छे आर्थिक रूपमा सक्रिय छ 2,68 मध्ये भनिसकेपछि त्यो पनि हाम्रो लागि असाध्यै ठुलो कुराहरू हो भनेपछि योभन्दा पनि राम्रो कुराहरू भनेको दुईटा उदयमान अर्थतन्त्रले छोडेका स्पेसहरू छन् हामीसँग त्यो स्पेस पुराहरू गरेर जसरी मलेसिया र इन्डोनेसियाको स्पेस पुरा सिङ्गापुरले गरेको थियो त्यो अपर्च्युनिटी हामीसँग छ ठुलो कुराहरू हामीले गर्न पर्दैन सानो कुरा गरेर दुईटा इमर्जिङ इकोनोमीका बिचको उनीहरूले छोडेको कुराहरूबाट हामीले पर्याप्त चाहिँ फाइदा लिएर हाम्रो राजनीतिक उपस्थिति हाम्रो आर्थिक उपस्थिति हामीले पुरा गर्न सक्छौँ भनेदेखि यो कुराको लागि हामीसँग लेबर र लोकेसनको एडभान्टेज पनि छ यी सबै कुराहरू छ विश्वभरि फैलिएको करिब 65 लाख नेपाली डायस्पोराले नेपाली मनलाई आफूसँग राखेर विश्वभरि कामहरू गरिरहेको छ त्यसको धेरै कुराहरू भन्दा चाहिँ सामाजिक डिप्रेसन आर्थिक भन्दा पनि सामाजिक डिप्रेसनलाई मैले बढी जोड दिन्छु सामाजिक डिप्रेसनले नेपालको आर्थिक सामाजिक रूपान्तरण गर्न सक्ने ठुलो सम्भावना बोकेको छ र त्यो सामाजिक डिप्रेसनलाई हामीले कहाँ पुर्याउनु पर्छ त भनेर भन्दा चाहिँ एकैचोटि ग्रासरुटमा अथवा चाहिँ समुदाय तहमा पुर्याइदिनु पर्छ त्यो पुर्याउने कुराहरू भनेको अब स्थानीय तह सामुदायिक संगठनहरूको सहकार्य मैले भर्खरै केही सहकारीहरूको अनुगमन गरेर आएको थिएँ हामीलाई एउटा बिकु जस्तो सहकारी 753वटा भए पनि पुग्ने रहेछ अथवा महारानी झोडा जस्तो कृषि सहकारी 753 ठाउँमा भए पनि पुग्ने रहेछ अथवा एजेन्सी जस्तो चाहिँ सहकारी हामीलाई 753 ठाउँमा भए पनि पुग्ने रहेछ तर हामीसँग सहकारी निजी र सामुदायिक क्षेत्रको चाहिँ पर्याप्त सहकारी हामीसँग अभाव छ त्यसले गर्दा उद्यमशीलता सबै तिनतिर फर्केपछि उद्यमशीलताको कुराहरू अलिकति पछि छ र हामी धेरैले सहकारी असाध्यै ठुलो सम्भावना भएको क्षेत्र भए तापनि सहकारी भन्ने बित्तिकै अलिकति मुख खुम्च्याउँछौँ प्रायोरिटी हामीमध्ये धेरैले दिँदैनौँ तर अहिले 63 लाख मान्छे जुन सानो उद्यममा संलग्न छ त्यो 63 लाखको चाहिँ उद्यमशीलताले सामाजिक एकीकरण आर्थिक एकीकरण र राष्ट्रिय एकीकरणको लागि महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान दिन सक्छ भन्ने कुराहरू मलाई लागेको छ र नेपालको चाहिँ यो बायोडाइभर्सिटी र क्लाइमेटिक एडभान्टेजको कुराहरू हामीले कहिले पनि छुटाउन हुँदैन र यी कुराहरू गर्नको लागि केही प्री कन्डिसनको रूपमा 4-5 कुराहरू मैले भन्न खोजिरहेको छु एउटा हामीलाई असाध्यै रियल कमिटमेन्ट एउटै ठुलो सबभन्दा ठुलो च्यालेन्ज भनेको चाहिँ निष्ठा चाहियो आग्रह हुनु भएन विज्ञता छ त्यो विज्ञतालाई प्रयोग गरिदिनु पर्यो मैले जिम्मेवारी लिने हो अवसरको रूपमा मैले त्यो लिनु हुँदैन अनेस्टी असाध्यै आवश्यक छ त्यो अनेस्टी कहाँ त राजनीतिक तहमा पनि र एग्रेसिभ रूपमा त्यसलाई फलो गर्ने यो प्रशासकीय परिपाटीमा पनि यी सबै कुरामा चाहियो र सबैपट्टि प्राइभेट सेक्टर त्यसको हामीले धेरै कुराहरू अपेक्षा गर्छौँ र अन्ततः सार्वजनिक क्षेत्रको नेतृत्वको ठुलो भूमिका छ त्यस्तै निजी क्षेत्रको क्रियाशीलता सहकारी क्षेत्रको चाहिँ परिपूरण र सामुदायिक क्षेत्रको सहजीकरण यी चारवटा पछि इकोनोमिक एक्टर भन्छौँ हामी यी चारवटा इकोनोमिक एक्टरको चाहिँ एकदम चाहिँ सहकार्य पोजिटिभ सहकार्यमा मात्रै नेपालको आर्थिक सामाजिक संविधानले कल्पना गरेको आर्थिक समृद्धि सामाजिक रूपान्तरण र समावेशीकरणको प्रक्रिया पुरा हुन्छ र यो प्रक्रियामा हामीले अहिले क्रिएटिभ टेन्सन क्रिएट गर्नु परेको छ प्रसव वेदना आइरहेको छ तर राम्रो सृजनशील कामको लागि यो कुरामा हामी चाहिँ भित्रैदेखि निष्ठावान भएर इमान्दार हुनु आवश्यक छ मैले यति भनेर यहाँबाट बिदा भई मेरो आफ्नो कमिटमेन्टको कारणबाट अरू समयमा हाम्रो सहकार्य म्यानसनको सहकार्य भइ नै रहन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ
म आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु हाम्रो सभापतिज्यूलाई हाम्रो सर्टिफिकेट अफ एप्रिसिएसन दिनुहुनको लागि द्याट इज टु मिस्टर गोपीनाथ मैनालीज्यू र यो सर्टिफिकेट अफ एप्रिसिएसन लाई हामी दिन चाहन्छौँ Thank you so much. अबलाई पनि हामी कार्यक्रम अगाडि बढाउँदै to talk on the federalism and economic development in India, way forward for Nepal. On this, we have our international guest speaker for today, the Secretary General of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry India, Mr. Saurav Sanyal. A huge round of applause to him. I'd like to request sir to drop a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. K.P. Sharma Oli, our former Prime Minister of Nepal, sir. Distinguished delegates on the dais and off the dais, President of the Management Association of Nepal, Mr. HARIBHAKTA, former presidents, members of the Managing Committee of the MAGH, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, very good morning and afternoon to you. I have a small presentation, and due to paucity of time, I will be quickly covering it in 7 to 8 minutes. I will be rushing through the slides. But before I come to the subject, I would like to introduce PhD Chamber, 113-year-old apex chamber of the country, established in 1905. It has about 130,000 MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises. And we have signed 106 memorandum of understanding between global chambers of commerce, including MAN, the CNI and the FCC of Nepal. I'm very proud to say that we are going through these collaborations in a very big way in the near future, and we would like MAN to join us in doing B2B sessions with the Indian counterparts, business entities, as well as the counterparts in Nepal, and we'll be looking forward to many more such associations. Now, coming to the subject in proper, as you are all aware, India emerged very slowly after independence with the growth rates of 2.5%, 3.5% and 4% during the 1950s till 80s. Most of you are aware that global revolution changes and reforms were brought in by our former Prime Minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, during the 1990s, when India emerged with a growth rate of 6.5%. Before that, the infrastructure was poor in India, the literacy rate was very, very low. All the macroeconomic parameters were at its lowest level. We had just become independent in 1947, and we are groping for growth and opportunities. As it stands today, we are very happy to state that India has emerged as one of the biggest global economies. It is still emerging with a growth rate of 7% in 2013-14 and expected to grow to 7.75% in the fiscal year 18-19. Large number of reforms, whether it was in the social sector, in the infrastructure, in manufacturing, and in skill development has taken place. With the new government coming in power in 2013, Honorable Modi ji as the Prime Minister at the helm of affairs, India is booming. It is moving forward at breakneck speed, and we expect a lot of ease of doing business coming through globally. The FDIs have increased manifold, fiscal deficits have reduced, the foreign exchange reserves have risen, and so is the growth story of India. The India's growth story is now flashed on the view foil. It is a self-explanatory story. As I told you that India is expected to grow at the rate of 7.75% in 2018-19. The per capita income. In the 1950s, we were at rupees 7,000, that is Indian rupees 7,000 was the per capita income. And today, as you can see, it is more than, in 16-17, it is more than 65,000. And in 18-19, it is expected to reach about 87,000. The development in the socio-economic segments is now flashed on the view 5, India has made considerable progress in the developing socio-economic infrastructure by introducing several reforms from time to time. It is progressing towards strengthening of social infrastructure such as education, skill development, employment generation, health, and social protection. India has expanded both in terms of economic development and socio-economic indicators. This can be seen. The key socio-economic indicators are shown on the view file. Basically, literacy rate, poverty, elevation, employment, life expectancy rate, and infant mortality rate. Our government has made significant progress to transform India into a knowledge economy and strengthen the educational infrastructure. India's literacy rate has increased tremendously from 18% in the 1950s to 73% in 2011. Similarly, there has been a reduction in the level of poverty, which is very crucial for development. India from 1950, which was 37% population which was below the poverty line, has now gone down to almost 21% below poverty line. Various schemes such as the Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana, National Family Benefit Scheme have been launched to reduce poverty in India. The percentage of population below the poverty line has also declined, as I told you. An important objective of planning in India has been to generate enough employment opportunities and create new additions, workforce for the overall economic growth of the country. There has been a strong correlation between the economic development and social development. India is progressing towards strengthening of the social infrastructure in all these sectors. The literacy rate is now flashed on the view file from 1950s, that is during independence. Today we stand at almost 73% in the literacy rate. Another major, this is the declining trend of poverty. This can be seen again, how India has emerged in reducing the poverty levels. The increasing employment in India is now flashed on the view file because of the large number of reforms during the 1990s, as also in the recent decade, in the recent 5 years, as India has emerged as a big employment hub in the country, not only for the national population but also for a global population which is coming and establishing base under the Make in India scheme. The life expectancy rate has also grown, as can be seen in the view file. The overall average life expectancy has gone up to almost 64 years and 68 years during the current year. India has attained impressive gains in child survival over the years, and there has been a consistent decline in the infant mortality rate over the years. This can be seen on this view file through a graph which has been represented here. The incidence of infant mortality rate in India has declined from 68 per 1,000 live births in the year 2000 to 37 per 1,000 live births in 2015. India today is undergoing a series of new reforms which are now flashed on the view file, with the government at the center and the state working in tandem and wholeheartedly. As you are all aware, out of the 26 states and 6 union territories, most of them are now led by a single government, and therefore there is cohesion of working between the states and the center, and it is really taking its toll in the growth of the country. The key reforms initiated by the government are the implementation of the GST, the Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Startup India, Smart Cities Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, Mudra Yojana, MSMEs, Jan Dhan Yojana, amongst others. Some of the very important macroeconomic issues were addressed recently during the budget. These are now flashed on the view file. The most important and foremost reform there, as you know, was the demonetization and followed by the GST. And very recently, about 4 days back, the MSME was reclassified